my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart, can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Now I can see that we've fallen apart from the way that it used to be. Yeah, no matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are my fire, the one desire. You are. Don't wanna hear you say nothing. Ain't nothing but a mistake. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. 'Cause I want it that way.
And welcome back to Relationship Wednesday. This particular Wednesday, we are talking about nurturing talents in your children. This is Retake. We've heard the discussion with the men on Monday. Well, part of it was very technical. Professor Humphrey is still here, and we're going to have quite a discussion because the ladies were just waiting to go at him about what he was saying. They're thinking like, you know what, I'm a mother and I've got a child and I have the ability to identify that. But before we get into that discussion, I would like the ladies to introduce themselves, beginning from my father's left.
My name is Liliana Kitch.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. Then closest to me right here.
Hi, my name is Bridget. I'm a makeup artist.
And then right over there.
And I'm Rosalinda Chen, also known as Mama Zawadi. I'm a mother to a gifted or talented. I've just learned that there's a difference between the two. So I would say that she has both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then I've got the gentlemen who were in here earlier on, beginning from my father's right.
My name is Brian Omundo Chieng. I'm an urban researcher.
All right.
Reverend Mike Kuria, Director of Youth Affairs, Nairobi Diocese Youth Ministry.
Okay. And then last but not least,
Professor Humphrey Bora, World Talent CEO of Talent.
Okay. While we were in the break, you had a question for Prof. Go ahead.
Well, I have to appreciate their presence today. We're learning a lot, especially for us parents who have talented kids. And one thing that, I had a small of a disagreement, though I agree largely with him about having to involve professionals to identify talents. I think this usually starts from the parent. At home, we tend to spend more time with the kids. And I would say, like, for my baby, she's 4 years, she's turning 5 on the 22nd. I was able to identify this as soon as, from those bowel movements, because there was a particular pattern. So I knew there was something special here. Then after that, immediately after she was born, I remember the first week after her delivery, my dad would go like, what is this girl looking at? Because she would identify with certain things in the house.
So your take is that as a parent, you were able to identify?
Sure.
But how do you nurture them?
Now, after identification of the talent, then you have to get into, the children, basically, and we are past the days where talent would be identified after high school or during high school, like Brian said before. But now we are getting to a point where after you identify the kid's talent, I'm talking from experience, not any professional perspective to it, but now based on real experience, first-hand experience. So the kid, the child, there could be many. After identification of the talent, what we do usually is to get into their system, be with them. Like you mentioned earlier, Reverend, we have to play the part with them. If it's music, try and sing. You could sing awfully, but the fact that they enjoy doing that, sing it with them. And then after that, once you should also ensure that you give the children the belief in themselves, that confidence.
All right. But I want to find out from the rest of you. The girl, Zawadi, is 4 years old, right?
Yeah, she is.
At what stage do you feel that you need to protect this child from exposure so that they're not getting too much exposure based on their talent or their gift, yet they have personally not developed to the level of their talent or gifting?
Number one, I would like to assess your daughter, and I'll do for you for free. My main job in the world is to find talent that can be supported. Gifted children, when you teach them something small today, they see them in 100 years to come and in 100 other different ways. Such people have the potential to change this world, and that's my job at the World Sea of Talent. If it can come from Kenya, I'll be very proud to just do that. Number two, whatever you've said that you're doing is not abnormal of any parent. I can tell you another parent with similar children. You remember the child, Ryan Duku, that can separate colors when blindfolded? I'm the one who discovered. That's called geospatial talent. They have their own names. What we need to discover and what you want as a parent, now that your child has something unique, can it work for you? Can it save you from paying fees? Can it make your child probably get a degree below the age of 10, like the ones you see on our websites? Can it happen in the best university? Because gifted children will not get grade A. They only get C's. And if you look at the academics, you might not find them. The only way for you to succeed with your child is to take a professional step. Just like I've been seeing this sickness and I've been trying to hang around it with magician men, with some medicine I know, till you go to the hospital and take professional screening and have a professional report and have a professional prescription, you will not solve it.
All right, but I'm still going to go back to my question, and probably Lillian will help me.
Right.
We've seen children, for example, in Hollywood, there were children who started acting while they were young. You get somewhere when they're in their 20s, they're such a wreck. Is there a possibility that sometimes exposing these children based on their talents becomes a disaster because they were personally not developed to the level of their talent?
I will even give you an example.
Go ahead, Lillian. Yeah.
Okay, I think it also depends with the child on how, with the talent. It depends with the talent, what is he talented in. If it's music that is so much exposed outside there, it would depend with where he's hanging out or where the people he's hanging out with. I think at that level, it depends with the people he's hanging out with and the places he's hanging out in.
Well, I want, because, and I'm going to ask you that, because you see, I'm a pastor too. So I lead people who have talents and gifts. And sometimes you can see that the person is not as developed in making decisions, just common life decisions, you know, making decisions. So they are looked at in a certain way based on their abilities. Then there is this, on the other side, there is this imbalance, which is in the person. How do we work on getting the person to develop to be able to carry what they carry?
Pastor Chris, you'll agree with me on this one. And allow me to use the term gift and talent interchangeably.
All right.
Gift, talent, and charisma will take a man to the top, but only character will sustain and maintain you there. And that is why it should be the duty of the parents, maybe the society, and people like Akina Prof, not to just emphasize on talent and gift alone, but to also work on character development.
Right.
We need sincere people, we need honest people, we need loving people, we need courteous people. And I believe, and especially when you're at the top, these are some of the qualities that people want to see. They don't just want to see your talent. And so as the talent is developing, the character on this other side should be developing. And we have enough resources and materials to do that, only that people don't take a step to do that.
Do you think that talent puts pressure on the children when they're growing up? Do you think it puts pressure on them? Like there used to be this, I think it was called JJ, somebody used to chess in the 80s, and he was taken away to a school, he was thought to be a genius, whatever, then things just don't turn out. Do you think that this thing we call talent puts pressure on children unnecessarily?
I think it does, in a way that, you know, the society expects this from the child. So when they start, if maybe they have a talent in singing, so there's a way the society is going to view the child. So when they're out there, they have to make sure they're up to the standard of the society. Like they're trying to please the society. So in a way, it makes them, it makes them
crash, makes them crack? Because I think that happens a lot. Brian, you want to say something?
I would like to say this. You find that when you are a kid and you have been shown that you have a potential to do something, let me say football, you find that many kids in the village that will be growing will be told to look like you. They'll be told, so-and-so, you see so-and-so. He's a footballer and he has met his dreams. And this kid who is now growing, you find that there'll be pressure upon you to behave in a particular line, so that if you make any mistake, it will be hard for you to pick up again, because you'll be seeing that I've failed many people, because you are a role model already.
How do you deal with the issue of the pressure? And do you feel that you are putting pressure on your daughter? And how do you deal with that pressure?
Well, it's all in the balance.
Okay.
We have to understand that, like my daughter, I know she's a baby.
All right.
She's still my baby, you know. And for her age, there's things that you don't want her missing, that now when she gets to the teenage, for example, it catches up with her. So for kids, let them be kids. As much as they have that talent, my daughter is always up and about performing, and that also puts pressure on us as parents. So anytime you have free time, that is the time that you use to do all these other things. But you also make sure that you talk to them. It's not about how best they perform, but how happy they are. Are they happy with what they do? I keep talking to my daughter like, Mom, how was the performance? What do you think? You know, to engage them as well. So that it's not just about what you have to tell them, that I want you to do this, I want you to do that. You also have to engage them. Then about that
but
change of
aren't you
behavior.
tempted sometimes, you know, if she does something that looks silly, do you find yourself sometimes saying, you know, you can't do that because you're a different child?
Yes, I tell her.
Don't you think that is pressure?
Like, that is, Mama, that is not my zawadi, you know, the zawadi.
Don't you think that is pressure, Prof?
Let me put it very candidly, and this is a very good question you've asked.
Yeah.
In the old days, when they started doing the assessments in America, and some of the living examples like the Williams, the Venus, and Serena, when they were assessed, the parent had to make a decision. In any constitution, the parent has a say over the government, over their children. And Mr. Williams made a choice between the school and the tennis court. So the daughter spent 6 hours on the tennis court and only 2 hours in the classroom. You could make that. That's called talent-based learning. Reverend,
Yes.
in talent assessment, all this time we've only talking about identifications. We never moved the other two steps. I'm into a step called psycho screening. There we do what is called Howard BPT test. That means basic personality test,
All right.
which now brings out your personality. That's why I was talking about the spirit, the soul. That forms your character. You got to know that before you write a prescription, because it is those that will form the enrichment and the building blocks. They're part of it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we think talent is something in isolation. Now, worse for Africa, when you do not know your child, you have not assessed, and you go giving pressure to perform in what they are not, you can imagine what would happen. But the flip side is even worse. How about if you are pressing your child down, you are still a child, you can't do this. I found that in 2013 from Esther Okade, the Nigerian British girl, 10-year-old, that was ready for university. Today she's 13 and already finished a degree in financial mathematics. All it was picked up by CNN. Go Google that. Okay?
But Prof,
the parents were pressing the kid down. The flip side is worse.
all right. The
Yes.
middle ground, Prof,
Yes.
is you've talked about where people are pushing their children to do what they're not good at. And then you've talked about people suppressing the children in doing what they're good at.
Yes.
But then there is this middle ground where
Right.
this is what this child is good at.
Yes.
But then I am also putting pressure because I want the world to see this child like this, and I do not, I lack the cognizance of the fact that this is still a child. She's either 4, he's 10, he's 13, he's bound to behave in certain ways. They're normal 10-year-olds in character, even though he's gifted. Don't you think that that pressure is just as bad as the other things you're saying?
It's very bad. In fact, we have rules from headquarters. When we assess as a debriefing to parents and even to educators, when we write the prescription, there are kids even we write and say, when we look at the learning style of this child, shall never do any written examination. In fact, in mathematics, shall not do the following topics. Can you believe that? That this child can actually exist in 3-4 schools, can do some part of math and exit without any examination. That is a prescription. So all those things you are thinking in terms of pressure is because of your perceived belief that they got to do something out there with 844 as well as their talent. When we write a prescription, it will be a talent-based learning. It will not be 844. It shall not be IGCSE. It will be what that child was created to be.
All right.
I know, unfortunately, when people do not know, this is not just the parents, not just the teachers that will beat you sentences. Kuzaliwa na hesabu, mtapigwa ukufe tu. The government pia inakusukuma huko wewe mwalimu asipopita more than 50%. We know that nonsense. It happens all the time. The truth is, we have to change that, and I am part of that change. And I can tell you I've been this for 24 years. And at World Headquarters, we've been making legislation even with governments. In fact, many countries today, not like Kenya, still we are saying, no child will go to class 1 until age 6. These kind of things.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me just, are there any talents that you discovered within yourself after going through childhood? Are you doing what you studied for?
Majority don't.
No, I don't even know if I have a talent yet. I haven't even discovered
You don't
yet.
know whether you have a talent?
Yes, I don't know.
You don't know what you, okay.
I don't know.
Can I ask Prof for you to have a session after this?
Yes, please.
Is it because of the definition, talent? Is there not something that you naturally are inclined to do well?
Okay, I have a passion. I don't
Thank
know,
you.
maybe there's difference between talent and passion. To me, it's
Yes.
a passion.
Okay.
I don't call it as a talent.
It's
All
a
right.
symptom
Yes.
of your passion.
All right.
Interest, passion, those are vibrations that indicate there's something in you.
And
Right.
then as you
Okay,
constantly pursue your passion, then after a while, it will be very clear that I'm very good at this thing. And other people will be giving you the compliment for it. And before you know it, you're getting money.
Okay. Is it possible that sometimes even what we call the talent is inherited? Is it possible?
I can say that it's inherited, like football. Like me,
You stuck to football.
I like football because you ask a simple question that did she identify any talent in her? To me, when I was young, I loved football. I liked playing at the age of 7 up to 12 there. And because in the society we did not know that these things, this football or talent pays, you find that my parents was pained to see me play at the expense of going to school.
But you said it is inherited. So I wanted to know how you connect, how you inherited it from a parent who didn't even like it.
Yes, I want to, let me just give an example. From I don't want to say my lineage, but there are other cases that can apply. Yeah, the other cases that apply. Maybe my father or my uncle played it, but not my father, but it's still within the
All right.
the family.
Is your daughter doing what you did, even though you may, probably you didn't come out doing that, but is she doing what you did?
Well, we share a lot in common, and
Alright.
maybe the difference is that in our generation, it was basically about books. You know, books. So perhaps I would have done the same thing. I would have been a poet. I would have been whatever she's doing, you know, an artist. But like
And it's
Brian
never
says,
too late to do that.
it's never
you know.
too late. I know people I meet out there when I take her for performances, when I go like doing proposals and some strategies to get her, you know, grow even further. People ask me, are you in the art industry? Are you a filmmaker, for example? Like you have so many ideas. So maybe it's something that I have that was never explored. And who knows, like you're saying, I'm still pretty young. I could, you know, I could explore
Actually,
that.
we start assessing at age 4 when
So
the front lobe is developed
Yeah.
up to the age of 64
Okay,
for
thank you.
mature talent.
You know,
Yes.
I'm way, not even half of 64.
Where are you at with your talent?
I'll say mine is the same as hers. I've just discovered that it's a passion that came way late after some years. So I just discovered recently that I can actually do makeup. Yeah, I'm a makeup artist too. That is on the side business. And yeah, I can dance. That's a talent for sure. That one, I can dance. Yes.
See how Humphrey is looking at you. Is dancing a talent? Is dancing a talent?
It's an endowment.
Isn't it? What do you mean, bro? So now we move from talent to give to passion to
Talent, yes, it is a talent, but it is endowed. Endowed means you are born with certain disposition. For example, have you seen acrobat? A guy can make himself into that circle, swing up a ladder, come down, pick another
So
one.
what exactly
That's an
is a
endowed
talent?
talent.
What exactly is a talent to the layman?
Okay. Talent.
In layman's language.
Okay. Talent is a God-given unique ability which can exhibit itself in a different way or is endowed in you. Look.
You've used the word endowed.
Yes.
Probably
It is
trying
a
to confuse
characteristic
us, right?
of a talent. Listen, there is a talent which is endowed because you are born like that.
How do you separate then? How do you differentiate
Yes.
what is a talent and what is a personality?
Oh, God, that is a BPT. That one is just the character. That's the BPT. That's when you talk about your soul and your spirit. That is where your character is and things like.
Because there are people who think.
I don't want to go to the science of it.
All
Or
right.
you wanted that?
Because there are people. Let me ask Mike.
Yeah.
There are people who naturally would be very talkative, and
Yes.
they would think that they are gifted in talking. How do you separate what is a personality and what is a talent or a gift?
Well, I think that's an uphill task. Because somebody will think that now because I talk a lot,
Yeah.
that could be a talent. But what matters, it is not just about the talkability, if there is such a word, but the content. What is it that you're talking about? Are you able to catch people's attention? Are you able to influence a generation? Are you able to influence attitudes and all these things? And I think, again, that is where now we need his organization, you know, and many other people now to tell these people, to enable them to come to a conclusion that this is the line. Maybe now this is where I can say, I am talented in this particular area.
May I
Now
just
this is where they need an outside help, a person to actually help them.
May
Because
I
we
just
all need
interject
help.
there because this is very important for even anybody watching at home right now. That is a classic example where people confuse. People talk much will end up using their talent in a variety of ways. It is known as verbal linguistic talent. it doesn't mean you don't have your own characteristics. That's why I said that is the gene, but it exists in a talent domain. There will be many other things which again will come in to support them. Part of them are those characteristics which we see as your passion to it, you have so much interest in it, you are glued onto it.
All right, Prof,
yes.
let's just cut this thing down.
Yeah.
So here is a lady, two ladies are sitting,
right.
One to your right, one to your left,
I'm a big
and
guy.
they do not even know whether they have talents. And sometimes they can't access you. They can't come to where you are.
Right.
They want to know when
Right.
they are at home,
Right.
how do they identify their talents in 30 seconds? The simplest thing to do while they're at home, because even when it comes to injuries, there's first aid, right?
Yes.
There's what you can do at home.
Very
so
good.
how do I, or how do they identify their talent?
You said 30 seconds?
Yes, 30
The
seconds.
answer, go to our website, giftedafrica.com. Giftedafrica.com. In fact, you will find an
Go ahead and
online
ask Prof
link.
the question.
You'll find an online link there that begins you to start even the process online.
What if I am a Mamboga? I don't have access to the internet. What am I supposed to do?
Then I'll give you a number.
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a very good question,
And then-
because there are people who, because probably they didn't perform well at school, or maybe life just happened to them, Brian, they found themselves, they're doing something just to survive. And so they have adapted to what they are doing.
Right.
And how do they dig in within themselves to find what they have so that they do something different from what they're doing?
Actually, I'll just tend to agree with Prof. But the way he has said that we can identify the talent in people, I think whatever he has should be enhanced and adopted within the curricula. Because at this age where I am...
That's a very formal way.
Yeah,
and the moment you formalize something, you lock out quite a huge number of people. The moment it becomes formal, quite a number of people will be locked out because we're just thinking, what about the person on the streets? What about the street boys? One of the greatest comedians right now, came from the dustbins, if I may say that. How does that person find something without it being formal? As we wind up, because we've run out of time now.
I think there should be sensitization. I think not many people know that Prof exists with such very beautiful ideas. So I think there should be some sensitization that should be done. And in fact, you can even create some centers on some days, and then you advise people and tell them what to do.
I take the last thoughts from Mama Zawadi, and then I wind up, because you're just promoting Prof. So.
Well, regarding the same, I think what we need to do is first identify talent. I know it's a uphill task for anybody, but once you have that, let us nurture talents. Let's start from home.
All right.
We have people who are talented out here, and if you find yourself in a situation where you're doing something because you lacked options, for example, include passion in it. You never know, then you grow it after that. And for the children, there's the protection bit that you talked about.
Right.
Don't make children, like my daughter, what I do with her, she's used to the publicity, for example. I don't want a situation where at some point she'll now start thinking, I'm this big or better than any other children.
You still protect the child.
Yeah, you still have to protect the child. And then let's not push kids too much, because children are unique, they're different. My child doesn't have to be this because the other child, the child next door, is this and that. Yeah. So let's treat children special as they come. Like you're saying, I'm a footballer. Yeah, I was a footballer. If I was in Brazil or wherever, I would be a billionaire today.
Okay.
So
all right. That's all the time that we had today on Mandate and Retake. We're talking about nurturing talents in children. Keep the conversation going. The hashtag is KTN Life and Style. Remember to keep following at KTN Life_Style, both for Instagram and for Twitter. KTN Life and Style on Facebook. Well, you want to know some more about what Prof is doing. What's your website again?
giftedafrica.com.
Gifted Africa.
Gift and add ed. Gifted.
Giftedafrica.com. So if you're trying to find out where you're talented at, you don't understand all the jargon that he was using, talent, endowment, and all of that, you can go to giftedafrica.com. We take a short break, and Crystal Okusa will come back with Stalma wife, Stalma hubby.
There's a hero. If what you are, there's an answer. If you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away, and then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. It's a long road when you face the world alone. No one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love if you search within yourself, and the emptiness you bear will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. Dreams are hard to follow, but don't let anyone tear them away. Just hold on, there will be tomorrow, and in time you'll find the way. When a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. That a hero lies in that a hero lies
This is when he looks like a scarecrow.
Yeah.
Sasa hivi kila siku hakuna scarecrow. Please do not tear your clothes when you put as bare before.